We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Mayor-elect Mondani appoints veteran firefighter Lillian Bonsignore as FDNY commissioner, marking historic first for women and LGBTQ+ leadership in the city.
Tour violinist sues Will Smith, alleging sexual harassment, grooming, and retaliation. Actor denies claims as false and seeks to contest the lawsuit.
Former New York Times editor claims leadership's silent dissent, debate on trans coverage, and ignored calls to hire trans journalists.
The world witnesses an increasing trend of homonationalism, a concept describing selective LGBTQ+ inclusion used by states to advance nationalist agendas while marginalizing others.
Founded in 1950, the Mattachine Society pioneered organized gay rights activism, challenging repression and laying the foundation for modern LGBTQ movements.
All this important LGBTQ+ news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family.
There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Edward. It is Monday, January 5th, 2026. Happy New Year. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ+ evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ stories in television. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ+ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host a show to support the LGBTQ+ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor and a really good friend of mine, Eric Restivo. Eric is a well-known DJ, cabaret singer, and host here in South Florida. With over the last 15 years, he has had DJ residencies in New York, in P-Town, LA, but he loves us the most. Eric can now be seen and heard hosting and singing weekly all over the Drive, and we are so blessed for it. Eric, so Bruce Vilanch brings Wicked Wit to Gray Box Theater on January 9th and 10th, and you are all over it. Tell me what's happening now.
Under, on top, to the side, any way you can take it. Legendary writer and humorist Bruce Vilanch returns to the stage with a special and original reading of his new play, Captain Showbiz. It's running at the Gray Box Theater on Friday, January 9th at 8 p.m. and Saturday, January 10th at 2 p.m. The stage reading, it's going to be kind of like a fully produced readings. So music stands and chairs, and the cast members will be holding the script. It features Bruce Vilanch along a cast of local talent. Hello, I'm part of the local talent. In a fast, funny, and biting backstage tale set partly in a hospital room, the story follows the flamboyant producer Harlan Starr as his dream of producing the Oscars spirals into Hollywood chaos, to keep it short. Smart, outrageous, and surprisingly touching, the play explores glamour, ego, and legacy. More details are available at graybox.theater.com. And yes, I'm excited. I don't want to say too much about it because, one, I don't know too much about it. So the the good thing about stage readings is, Greg, you know, in LA and in New York, they have these 29-hour equity readings, right? So they job in actors to assign them to certain roles. That in South Florida, it's like anything goes, honey. So we got this piece from Bruce. He said that he was available certain dates, and the Gray Box said, "Well, let's go." So I've read the script twice. It's hysterical. But I don't want to say too much because we haven't had a rehearsal yet. There's a few rehearsals we're having before the reading. So
today's Monday.
The reading's on Friday. We have rehearsal Wednesday and Thursday. So that's enough for a reading.
Okay. So for the rest of us, or for better yet, for me, that I don't know shit about nothing. What does that mean?
So for a stage reading, basically what will happen is the work is presented to investors, people who would then later on take this show.
So somebody will film this and then try to find investors for it.
And playwrights and different Broadway investors or national tour investors or cruise ships, anyone who would do this kind of show and mount it in their own space.
Got it.
Can say, hey, I'd like to talk to you further about this.
Got it. So, but Bruce wrote this.
Bruce wrote it, and he's starring in the main role as well. Now, I don't know if that's the plan for future productions, but I know for this, the main role, Harlan Starr, is based off of him. So, yeah,
Oh my
very,
God,
very exciting.
how exciting.
Get your tickets, graybox.theater.com.
Get your tickets. This is going to be awesome to watch and see,
Yes.
okay? How are you preparing for your role?
Well, you know what? That's such a great question. I am learning my lines, and the role that I'm playing is different from a lot of roles that I've played because it's not as loud and flamboyant. It's
as you are,
as I am, and it's at the actual opposite of what Harlan Starr is. So the role that was written for me is the writer, and it's a show about a play within a play, basically. So the writer is coming in, looking at this piece of work that Harlan Starr has written about his life and saying, so this is what we can do, this is what we can't do. You can't have a pink pony because they don't actually exist. You know, so there's it's fun for me to take on a role that is the grounding of the two personas as opposed to the one who's just all over the place. So,
well, and also at its inception, because this is the beginning of this. You don't know where this is going to end up.
No clue. It's the very first reading of it, so it's anything can happen. It's and for $25, when you in New York City to get invited to an experience like this, a reading of something new, you pay a couple $100, or you don't even get invited because you're just not a producer. So it's a really cool experience for $25. And before I wrap this little rant up, I promised I would say it. It's running in rep with Alexander Zeno's show at the Gray Box Theater. He's a great performer, but I'm just trying to bring more awareness to the arts at the Gray Box. It's a great space.
It's a great space.
So check out the website. I call it like the sister for Sunshine Cathedral Performing Arts because they're they're such great spaces. So
and
Friday and Saturday, come check us out.
And both have incredible shows for the season already set. I mean, look, they already have so many shows booked that it's just incredible. And they're doing national and global people, but they're also taking care of our local talent, which to me is so important.
That's right. And I can't give away anyone else in the cast, but I can promise you that if you are out weekly in Wilton Drive or Oakland Park, even to be fair, and you've been around this drive, for a minute, you'll recognize the show. It's a great cast.
Okay, I'm not in the show because I can't sing or dance.
But your invite is wherever. You let me know Friday or Saturday night. We've got you.
You're so sweet. Well, Bruce Vilanch is going to be in my bed in the next couple of days, so I'm really looking forward to having him, and I can't wait to talk to him all about it. So thank you for giving me that in.
Of course.
To be able to know what to do. But definitely go to Gray Box Theater, go get your tickets, go watch it. It's going to be fantastic. All right. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Gray Box Theater on January 9th and 10th. Let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro back to the table, baby. An inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame, Gregg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ publications and websites. Welcome back to the show, Gregg. 2026 is your year, baby.
Happy New Year, y'all. New year, same old me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that by the hat and the shirt. Same old you. So, every year you have like a pink elephant, blue elephant,
White elephant.
whatever. Some kind of weird elephant game party at your house. How was it this year and what was the weirdest gift given?
There were some weird ones, but there were some popular ones that people fought over. Like we limit the amount of times a gift can change hands.
Oh yeah, how many?
wow.
Three.
That's how.
And there
that's
was
how
like-
that's how you play.
There was like this great blanket that everybody, I thought they
Was
were
it
going to be.
fleece? I mean,
Yeah,
you
it
can't say
was.
no to a fleece
They
blanket.
were gonna
That's
be
what it is.
festive.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
It was just- yeah, especially in South Florida, you want fleece. It's like, hello. So we had a couple of cold days. Grow up.
Yeah.
Well, we love you, Gregg Shapiro, and thank you for being back at the table at Queer News
Glad to be
tonight.
back.
Kevin Lee is back in the house, or he's back at the table.
Yes.
Kevin is a 3-time #1 best-selling author, a transformational speaker, an intuitive life coach, and so much more. This native Texan is on a mission to help you find your life purpose. I'm talking to you, all right? Find your spiritual fulfillment and true happiness. So, Kevin, this is super exciting. Mystic Oracle Circles are coming up. They're going to be taking place on January 17th and 21st. Tell us what's happening out.
So these are one of my latest virtual gatherings that I'm putting together. I've been doing it live on stage locally here for a few months, and I wanted to just take it virtual. So this is kind of my next step, getting out on stage, kind of like that Bruce thing he's doing. But this is, but this is the real deal. So, meaning we're going to be working with people on a global level, meaning just virtual platform. And then also for those of you who are not ticket buyers, I wanted to offer something really special, which is come to my YouTube channel. Just watch the live stream for free, right? But if you really want to come play with me and have the opportunity to have a reading, come get a ticket, come be a part of it. You're going to love it. Listen, if you've been looking for a sign from the universe, let me tell you, honey, this is it. Come join me for a couple of exclusive virtual gatherings that I'm calling Mystic Oracle Circles. And that'll be this coming January 17th and 21st from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. These events, these are always upbeat, high vibe evenings where I'll be delivering messages live, intuitive messages to random attendees. Whether you need clarity in life or perhaps just a little bit of cosmic rainbow boost, you do not want to miss this virtual magical gathering. Listen, grab your spot now by following my Facebook events page. Go check out the username at Rev Kevin Lee. See, there's that Rev, right?
Love that.
There's the Rev. I paid for it. Rev Kevin Lee. 5 years worth. I don't use it a lot. Rev Kevin Lee.
Amen.
So get ready to receive the guidance that you've been seeking to unlock your own magic, and I look forward to seeing you all there.
I love that. So, when I think of Oracle Circles, I think of the really cool lady in Matrix.
And I was thinking of Oracle of Delphi, all the ladies that they were the mystics and they were smelling, well, I hate to say this, but it was like they were smelling the fumes and then they were getting high and they would deliver messages to the kings and all the prophets, and I won't go there.
But I mean, how far off were they? That probably got them in tune to receive what they needed to receive.
That's exactly what they needed. And they were world famous, literally in their time, 2,000 years ago. So I love that kind of stuff. Everybody has a natural intuitive ability. Think of gut instinct. We all have it. You know something's wrong with a family member or a friend, a lover. You called and they're like, how did you know that I needed to talk to you? It happens to me all the time. I'm living proof you can be trained because I certainly was not born with my gift wide open. So that's what I like to remind people. We all have the potential if you're willing to step into it, embrace it.
And this is the time. Like right now, at the beginning of the year, you already cleaned out your 2025.
Exactly.
You know what no longer serves you from
Let's
that.
find out what the path ahead holds.
It's got the stage.
The sage.
You got the
I love my stage.
We did that.
You
We did the whole stage, cleaned it out, but then we were sick for the last couple of weeks. But
Yeah,
I had to do
I
a whole.
do it every Sunday.
We do it, but we did it like for the end of the year. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But who uses Florida water? I love Florida water.
I used to.
Oh, that's a good idea,
It's very
though.
Perfumey. I love
Yeah.
that.
Love
Very
that.
cleansing,
Very
protective, high
poignant.
vibe.
Any other New Year's resolutions or anything that you did? Like
For
kick
me,
off
you know
the
what
new
I
year?
do, which I should have mentioned, which was I created my badass list for 2025. 5. What did I achieve last year that was great? Because so often I'm so high driven. And I'll say this, I forget the good things that I've achieved in the
100%.
past 12 months.
100%.
So I remind myself, and then I think, what do I want to achieve? I get goosebumps. What do I want to achieve in the next 12 months?
And you call that your badass list?
That's my badass
All right,
list.
everybody at this table needs to do a badass list.
I'm telling you, it's amazing.
Folks at home, make it happen too. Because you forget.
You forget.
And you go through these triumphs, and it like they take over everything, right? I'm worried. How am I gonna be on stage? How am I gonna be for this client? Blah blah. And then you get through it.
Look at all the greatness.
And you get through it, and then you forget.
My journal keeps all my memories.
Oh, I love that.
Journal.
I love a journal.
I love that
every day.
I love that. Well,
Nothing
thank you.
goes away.
Nothing goes away there. Kevin, thank you so much. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Mystic Oracle Circles on January 17th and 21st. Follow Kevin Lee for your invitation in. Let's welcome anchor Edward Otto Zielke. I missed you, Edward.
Oh, I just saw you. I think maybe a few weeks ago? Last year.
That's not enough. That's too much time passed.
I know. It feels like a lot of time.
Right? Well, Edward is an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the director of marketing, you know what's coming, and sponsorship for the world famous gay men's chorus of South Florida.
Wow. I love that.
He also serves on the Gala Chorus's communications committee in his spare time. Welcome to the show, Edward. Tell me about what's new with you. And more importantly, when are you doing my ABBA? That's what I need to know. When are we doing ABBA?
Wow. It's exciting that we're going to be doing this March concert. It's going to be all about ABBA. It's ABBA. Thank you for the music. It's going to be at the Parker at 8 p.m. on March 20th, which is a Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to that. We just had auditions over the weekend, and we accepted 12 new members into the chorus, so that's exciting, including a local celebrity, Stephen Crespo, who was our 2024 representative at the IML in Chicago. So yeah, that was exciting to see that he got accepted and joining us as well. And we're just gearing up for another exciting season. And just so that everyone's aware, Gabe's taking a little bit of a hiatus with this one. He's having a little bit of a surgery done, so we're gonna miss him for this concert. But
he's allowed.
Oh yeah, you know what? He's taking time to take care of his health and things that he needs to do, and that's important. And we have a great assistant conductor, Anthony Cabrera, who's going to be conducting the entire show. So it's going to be amazing.
So which part? Dancing Queen.
There's going to be so many ABBA songs. I don't even know. I put a poll out there, what's your favorite ABBA song? And I was so amazed. There was The Winner Takes It All, things I didn't even expect to be there. Because, you see Dancing Queen and you see other SOS and other songs like that. But yeah, I'm just so excited to see this all put together in such a remarkable show, and to have the community involved with it too. We're asking everybody to come and dress up in your favorite ABBA 70s.
They will.
And everybody will. So it's just going to be one big party fun, and that's what we need right now, right?
Yes.
Listen, ABBA's incredible. ABBA encompasses so much, right? And I remember seeing My Big Fat Greek Wedding and thinking that was the only songs that they had, right? And then I met my wife, and she's a huge ABBA fan. And you start hearing the songs, and you're like, oh shit, they sing that? Oh wow, they sing that? Wait a minute. And I'm like, oh, when did these people pass away? They're still alive, right? Oh my God.
And then there's a Broadway musical with Mamma Mia, and there's so many. There's so many. It touches so many lives. It goes beyond LGBTQ at this point. So yeah, we're so excited to bring it to the stage. So we're
and we can't wait to see it as well. All right. And with that, Edward, thank you so much for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's legendary lead anchor and good friend of mine, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, it's so lovely to be next to you at this table. Black to Broadway celebrates Black excellence on January 18th at the Foundry Theater. Tell me what's happening out.
Yes, little bro. So Black to Broadway, a live narrated music experience, celebrates Black excellence, legacy, and liberation through the power of Broadway, baby. Presented by the Our Fund Foundation, this free event takes place January 18th and 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Foundry. The narrated concert features powerful performances by the incredible Lenora J, Antonio Edwards, I love you too, Terry Dyer, Jesse Smith, Jay Blue, Brandon Mack, and Sade Ross. What? Honoring the Black artists who shaped musical theater and culture through iconic songs and storytelling rooted in jazz, gospel, and Broadway. The show uplifts history, resilience, and joy. Admission is free, but RSVP is required. And when I saw this on Facebook, I was like automatically like, oh, I must be there. Like, you know, like the Black voices are not usually uplifted, and they should be, right? They are the foundation of so many Broadway shows, mostly any Broadway show that you could think of, and they're never given the spotlight that they deserve and should have.
Well, and it's you know, you a testament to what you just said. You know, the show is fully sponsored by the Our Fund Foundation,
yes.
which notoriously, you know, sponsors and sheds light on groups that are not getting that same sort of attention.
Yep.
And uplifts them into the spotlight. They've been with the Foundry Group as long as I've known. But listen, at this table, we talk about people who have come before all the time, right? We talk about the running and the struggle that people who came before us have done so that people like myself and others at this table can walk through the troubles that are the LGBTQIA struggles of this world, which are dark right now, but are not even what they were.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so I think that this is a similar struggle. I think that Black excellence is a term that I'd like to hear more of at this table, and I think that this cast completely consists of that.
When I think about Black theory, I think about Raisin and Pearly
Of
and
course.
The
Yeah.
Wiz and Dream
Color
Girls.
Purple and-
Dream Girls, the color
I mean, there's
purple. Yeah.
so much
There's so
to
much.
draw.
There's so much.
But I
yeah.
mean, come on, you know, I mean, come on, just like even looking at Wicked, right? And seeing Cynthia
Yep.
Erivo and
Right.
seeing like the difference that she brought to it, but that it was needed and lacking or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I can't wait for this. This is going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to this. And again, the voices that these folks have, like, I mean, Antonio Edwards, like, I want him to record my voicemail or something. You know what I mean? His voice is just epic. Lenora J, I
Yeah.
mean, you've worked with her.
Well,
It's just,
I think it's like a song set, like a song cycle. So I think that the live narration, from what I've been told, kind of sets up what is happening next. And I think it's going to be a really intimate evening. And I know that it might be sold out right now, but they always encourage you to just show up to the Foundry. You know,
Yeah.
and if you've got the time to sort of stand on the will call list, and if you don't make it, go to have dinner
Is this-
down the block.
and
But, you
come
know,
back.
yeah.
This is on the same weekend as Martin Luther King weekend, right? So
That would make
is that part
Oh my
of
God,
that?
how
Would they-
perfect is
I'm
that?
sure that was considered, you know.
That's a great you know, tool to just get people in just to,
Absolutely.
review that, so it's fantastic. It sounds wonderful.
100%. And, you know, I mean, if you've ever met Terry Dyer, he is transformative in his thinking, and he makes sure that you know what he's feeling. And I was thinking about, the maps, right? Like when you have like the thing that the voice that tells you make a left, make a right, right? The GPS, right? I need Terry Dyer to record mine. Like he would be so perfect. I'm like the map thing that
map.
tells you
I'm
where
like,
to go, right? I'm like, you know what I mean?
I was thinking like MapQuest. Oh God,
The
get me out
Siri
of
on your
here.
phone.
Even the
right?
Siri, he would be great for that. Faye, it's almost time for your next.
You need a cameo. Isn't there like a
Cameo, something.
Somebody, we
He's
need to
got the
pitch in and
voice
get her
for
a cameo
it.
GPS. Come on.
I will see you all there. I'll be
I was going to say, clearly the table tonight at Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Black to Broadway on January 18th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the world view. Lillian Bonsignore makes history as first out gay FDNY commissioner. New York City is set to make history. Mayor-elect Zohan Mondani has named Lillian Bonsignore as Commissioner of the Fire Department of New York, making her the second woman and the first out gay person to lead the department. Mondani announced the appointment in Queens. Quote, "The FDNY deserves a leader who cares about their work because she did it herself. She is the kind of leader I'm so proud to have in my administration," end quote. Bonsignore, a Bronx native, joined the Fire Department of New York in 1991 as an emergency medical technician and served for 31 years, retiring in 2022. She became chief of the EMS division in 2019, the first woman to hold that role and the first uniform woman to reach 4-star chief status. A first responder on September 11th and a leader during the COVID-19 pandemic. Bonsignore emphasized safety and support for FDNY FDNY members. She said, quote, "My goal is to ensure that every member of the FDNY has the resources and environment they need to perform their role safely and effectively," end quote. Her appointment also marks a milestone moment for LGBTQ plus visibility in city leadership. Oh my God, that's for sure. From my seat, this is what leadership looks like when it's earned, not handed a la Trump, Lillian Bonsignore didn't make history by being the first. She made it by showing up, staying, and leading through every single crisis that was thrown her way. Visibility matters most when it comes with competence and when it comes with the power that she is bringing to the FDNY. This sends a powerful message that queer leaders belong everywhere. They belong in New York City, and Mamdani is going to make sure that they're part of his administration.
And she was so young, that picture.
So young. She started her journey so young. I was thinking that too. Yeah.
She was a baby.
Yeah. And look where she is now.
And like helping in 9/11 kids.
And just kind of polishing her craft in different areas and different specialties is really great. And listen, I've been someone who has always believed in the good of even bad things. My uncle has been with the police department in New York City since I was a child. He recently retired. So there's always good in bad. And it's really great to see LGBTQ plus people in these positions. For me, at least as someone who's still a fan of believing in the good of the police, I love seeing this.
I second that too.
Yeah,
my family is also in law enforcement as well. I have a brother who's a cop, and there are people that are good on both sides, as we all know. Yeah. And it's so refreshing to see someone who's so qualified for the job. Really, I mean, you touched upon that, Faye. It's just, what a remarkable career to have this moment in her career. It's fantastic. So kudos to her.
She loves her city.
Yeah.
I lived in New York City for several years, and there's just something about the people, the locals. They literally, they just fall in love with the city of New York City. And just with the whole police department, all of that, just they're so proud. Yeah. And I had a few friends that were part of the police force, and they they lived for their job. Like they breathe. It was oxygen for them. And I hadn't really seen that in any other profession. It was fascinating.
Yeah. And for her, it wasn't like, it wasn't handed down, right? It wasn't her father and grandfather that were. That was something that was instilled in her, however, and that's something that we usually brush to the side when we're LGBTQ, because we don't want to be out there out front that way.
Right.
I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her.
I mean, and what does it say about Mamdani? Like, he literally...
he walks his talk.
Yeah. Exactly.
He said he was going to do it.
Exactly.
Everything he said on his campaign, showing up in different religious communities, cultural communities, racial communities. He said he would bring these people into leadership, and he's doing it.
He said he would make New York City a sanctuary city for, from immigrants to trans folks, and everyone in between. And this shows that he's got that frame of mind, that's what he's thinking of.
Absolutely.
Greg?
No, I agree. My only concern, because
of course, I knew
you have a concern.
Was it the double-breasted suit? It was the jacket.
There tends to be a little more pressure on an LGBTQ person,
of course,
in a position such as this.
I'm thinking
about when Lori Lightfoot, who was the mayor of Chicago, the lesbian mayor.
Yeah.
So there is that, but I have every confidence from seeing her from 22 to all these years later. I think.
Just understand that she, I get it. It's not easy being an LGBTQ being put in this position, all right? But she was a woman before she was LGBTQ, so she knows what it's like to be marginalized at every corner. Right. And she chose positions where there were more men than women in those positions. Right. You know what I mean?
So
she's been kicking ass since the beginning.
And I understand his point. It's being magnified at this point, obviously, because of what's going on in the world and stuff. And so people are taking this as an excuse to leave New York. Right. And that is so insanely crazy for people to think that because there is a woman leader, lesbian, for a firefighter, I would rather have her coming into a building to save me
100%.
Than any crony that anybody else could possibly take off the street that is unqualified.
Yeah, New York is packed. If you feel feel that way, get out anyway. We don't want you.
Yeah, no. Okay, but you're saying get out.
My second home.
We live in Florida. Okay, everybody at the table has lived in New York.
Yep.
Okay, except for Greg, that he lived in Chicago,
Yeah.
which is New York adjacent.
Yeah.
Okay, like we all have. And there's something about coming from those cities that you leave and you take that shit with you.
Of course.
All right.
I don't agree.
Now you take a piece of it. You don't think you take
No,
a
I
piece
think
of it with
people
you?
come here to start over. And
No.
but where you came
No, I'm saying
where you're coming from.
when you leave, you
Yeah.
you take a piece of
Sure,
that
I
with
think where you go, when you leave anywhere, you take a piece of it with you.
Well, some.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends. I mean, I didn't want to take too much of Jersey. I'll tell you that.
You did.
Right? But I did. Right? You know. So the people come down. We don't want those New Yorkers that hate everything about LGBTQ and don't want Mandani as a leader to be coming down here to Florida.
And they are.
Yeah.
And they will,
They're on
because
their
DeSantis is our leader. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like,
Sure.
so
I think a lot of New Yorkers, if I'm being completely honest with you, are way scared of more than down here to leave just Mandami.
100%.
So I don't
Those
think a
10
lot of
who
them
cares?
are,
Agreed.
you know, like,
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
many
it's
are
just
coming
the
down
loudness
here.
you're hearing from the internet and social
exactly.
media
Like,
from the people that probably don't even live there that just want to
that's
voice their
right. I'm
opinions.
like, how many of these people are actually reporting live from Midtown? You know, like that's what I'd like to
Very
really
few.
know.
100%.
I'm Eric Restivo, and let's queer up entertainment. Will Smith sued by male violinist over sexual harassment and retaliation claims. Sheesh. Actor and musician Will Smith is facing a lawsuit from a male tour violinist who alleges sexual harassment, wrongful termination, and retaliation. Brian King Joseph, who performed on Will Smith's Based on the True Story 2025 live tour, claims the actor displayed predatory behavior and was, quote, deliberately, grooming and priming him, end quote, for further sexual exploitation. The lawsuit, filed in California Superior Court, names Smith and Trayball Studios management as defendants and seeks a jury trial. Joseph alleges Smith told him, quote, "You and I have such a special connection that I don't have with anyone else," end quote. He also describes a disturbing incident during a Las Vegas tour stop, claiming his hotel room was unlawfully accessed and personal belongings were left behind, including a bottle of HIV medication with another individual's name on it. A note allegedly found in the room read, quote, "Brian, I'll be back no later than 5:30, just us with a heart symbol. Stone F," end quote. Joseph says he feared an unknown individual would soon return to his room to engage in sexual acts. Brian claims he was later shamed by management and fired, leading to PTSD and economic loss. Smith's attorney, Alan B. Grodsky, denied the allegations, stating, quote, "Mr. Joseph's allegations concerning my client are false, baseless, and reckless. They are categorically denied, and we will use all legal means available to address these claims and to ensure that the truth is brought to light," end quote. Oh gosh, I kept hitting my remote on the table. I'm sorry about that. Listen, I feel like the Illuminati and whatever that means, it's a scary thing to me, and I feel like Will Smith is involved. I also feel like Jada is involved too, his wife. So I don't want to say too much at this table that could get me abducted by the Illuminati, but this, unfortunately, in this era of powerful rappers, producers, Sean P. Diddy,
R. Kelly,
Kanye West, and God bless. I mean, I don't even consider him alive anymore. I just say like God bless his soul, because he's lost it. But this is not shocking, and I hate that it's not shocking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow this, and I'd like to see what's gonna happen after this, because as we reported on P. Diddy stories here, plenty of times we had to follow up with the next part 2 of it. I believe everything that this person and victim is claiming, and it's because of the evidence that's been presented to us in other cases of similar artists.
You know, his Will Smith's squeaky clean kind of persona, right? Kind of went to shit when he slapped
Oscars.
when he slapped Kid Rock.
Right.
Okay, but when Kid Rock,
I wish he would slap.
I know, I would love that.
I wish he is
funny.
Kid Rock, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, like at that moment, like for me, like all that crumbled down, right? What I thought I knew of him completely went to shit, right? You know? And I had like an inkling back when Jada said that they were no longer, you know, intimate and that they had separated for a while and all her weird stories. I was like, oh wait, there's more to this couple than we will ever know. And then he comes and, you know, slaps Chris Rock and that, you know, and leaves all of us like, was that a prank?
What was that?
Is that normal in his house? Like, you know, and then like, you know, being rich and being Will Smith does not cancel accountability, right? Like, I don't give a crap, right? And we, you know, we've got to be just and support survivors. For whatever reason, it took this guy this long to say it. Right? I mean, it
maybe
takes.
This was triggered by the other people who are coming out for the other trials of
maybe the Epstein stuff is going, hey, I gotta come out and say, you know, this is not just a white thing. I mean, like, who knows? You know,
and it was just during the 2025 summer tour, so it really wasn't that. There hasn't that much.
Not long ago.
No, not long ago. No.
So, but this Alan Grodsky looks like an ambulance chaser. I mean, imagine the bad things that Grodsky must have done in a former life to be saddled with being Will Smith's attorney in this life. Good luck, pal.
Oh, great.
Wow. Well, there is no queer nonprofit media what chaser?
Ambulance.
Oh boy.
Wow.
I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's queer up the USA View. Ex-New York Times editor alleges militant anti-trans culture at the paper. A former New York Times editor is accusing the paper's top leadership of shutting down internal criticism and taking a militant stance on trans issues. Trans journalist and campaigner Billie Jean Sweeney told Trans News Network that senior staff at the 175-year-old publication blocked dissent over its reporting on trans people in the lead-up to the 2024 U.S. election. Sweeney said the Times used to allow staff to raise questions and criticisms about senior staff decisions through employee resource groups, but later the paper shut the groups down. Billie mentioned, quote, one of the things that happened was the New York Times chairman A.G. Sulzberger kind of came around and gave a stump speech to every part of the paper, including the international desk. He talked for 40 minutes about how we were going to cover the election fairly and that sort of thing, end quote. She added that the speech felt out of place for desks not directly involved in election coverage, saying staff were left wondering, why are we talking about this? Around the same time, New York Times chairman A.G. Sulzberger said at a Reuters Foundation event in March 2024 that the Times had protected young people through its coverage of trans youth. Sweeney said internal tensions escalated after that, with dissent silenced through actions like canceling internal forums. The Times' trans coverage has long drawn criticism. In 2023, more than 100 LGBTQ plus organizations signed an open letter accusing the paper of publishing biased and inaccurate reporting that endangered trans people. That letter called for an end to anti-trans stories and demanded the hiring of at least 4 full-time trans journalists. Sweeney says that it still hasn't happened. Quote, they still don't have any trans journalists covering trans news in the newsroom, end quote. Okay, kids, there is nothing new about this. It's been going on for years. The Times has a miserable history when it comes to coverage of subjects such as LGBTQ rights and AIDS. More recently, the Times hired right-wing anti-gay writer David French as a columnist. That was in 2023. And they continue to allow that twisted, self-loathing, bitchy homosexual, not gay, homosexual, Andrew Sullivan to spew his anti-trans bullshit. So I don't see a change coming at all anytime soon.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't too surprised over this story either, right? It being the New York Times and just what I've seen, in the last couple decades, to be completely honest, right? I mean, they don't cover black folks accordingly. They don't cover the immigration, issues that we're going through, accordingly, But I mean, from our seat, from all of our seats, you cannot cover trans lives accurately while sidelining trans journalists. You just can't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You just can't. No one is going to give that full picture,
voice.
that full story, and that full voice unless they're living that experience, you know? So I'm kind of not shocked over this, you know? And who's going to hold them accountable? They should have hired 4 trans writers by now and they still haven't. They're not going to.
That's my point. They'll just kind of, I feel like it's just feeding a little bit more time. You know, they're putting a Band-Aid on it by saying something that they're going to make as a point of action, but it's not actually going to happen.
It's a shame because they did all of this wonderful work, you know, and like, you know, realizing in 2023 that they do have to make a change and they do have to add steps to that. And then somebody comes in and just says, we're shifting over here, you know, and it's like, we're not talking, we've already talked about that. I'm like, are you crazy? You have to talk more about it. We're not, we're like, what? Like, oh, we're done with that. Like, no.
I'm Kevin Lee, and let's queer up world news. What homonationalism means and why it's back in the spotlight. Here's a term you may be hearing more often in political debate, homonationalism. Just days ago, Spiked claimed the concept is on the rise, linking it to the idea that across Europe, gay voters are moving rightwards. But what does it actually mean? The term was coined in 2007 by Rutgers University scholar Jasper Puar in Terrorist Assemblages, Homonationalism in Queer Times. Broadly, it refers to the selective acceptance of LGBTQ plus people to promote nationalist agendas. The Oxford Encyclopedia of Communication defines it as the growing embrace of LGBT rights by mostly Western nations. Alongside the complicity of some LGBTQ plus groups with nationalist politics, Puar developed the idea while analyzing how the U.S. framed its war on terror using pro-LGBTQ plus rhetoric to portray Muslim-majority nations as inherently homophobic, despite limited LGBTQ plus rights at home. Scholars note that homonationalism often prioritizes white, cisgender gay men while marginalizing trans people, non-binary people, and queer people of color. The rhetoric has appeared in global conflicts, including Russia's invasion of Ukraine and Israel's war in Gaza. In 2023, Israel's official Twitter account posted images captioned, quote, the first ever pride flag raised in Gaza, end quote, despite same-sex marriage remaining illegal in Israel. Scholars warned that the concept should be examined alongside colonialism, racism, and class, not sexuality alone. You know, this is, what a word. I didn't even know this word existed, but when I read it and broke it down, I realized it's all about the nationalist agenda, which we're dealing with right now in America with our own political stuff. And so I had to look it up, and really at the core of it is xenophobia, right? It's racism, it's imperialism, and it's a fear of people of other origins, meaning other countries, right? And so at the core of a lot of this homonationalism is targeting the concept of homosexuality and somehow obscuring it with anti-immigration topics, which is bizarre. And, you know, it's downplaying what we're dealing with here in America with our country's homophobia that is ongoing, right? And it's also a distraction technique because it's on the political front and I just feel like it's so unacceptable. It's so inappropriate. It's so inhuman. And I'm just not living for it. But if you don't know what homonationalism is, just look at the perfect examples of the U.S. war on terror and also Israel's pinkwashing of all that rhetoric that they were espousing, especially with a flag. You know, pretty awful.
Yeah.
Well, now we have a name for what Peter Thiel, Richard Grenell, and Scott Besant are. They're homonationalists. Now we know what to call them.
Now you know what to call them, right? You're actually going to call them effing homonationalists.
Sure.
You know, I think as an LGBTQ community, as someone in the community, you know, I see a lot of people that, you know, are broken people like myself, you know, and we're all trying to, you know, be better in ourselves and really put our best foot forwards and really try to elevate ourselves. And, you know, there's a group of people that feel that they're better than that. And it's like that they've had no problems. And, you know, and I've seen that. And it just really, really aches at me because it's just, you know, not everybody walks away from a childhood or from a home life situation, wherever it is, completely unscarred. So to not have any compassion for anybody within your own community, really speaks a lot of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, it goes beyond that. So, yeah, hearing this
Guarantee
new
you they have
word.
no pets.
Yeah.
Also.
And you
No
know,
heart,
and you,
no
know,
life,
and you know, I don't
hairless
trust,
cat.
and you know, I don't
Yep.
trust anybody without a pet.
I know.
You know that, Kevin.
I'm telling you. I guarantee you. No heart, no pets, all that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know, folks, this is a reminder that rainbow branding doesn't automatically equal justice, you know?
Yes.
When LGBTQ rights are selectively embraced to justify nationalism or exclusion, that's not progress. That is freaking politics all the way around.
100%.
And it's just not, it's just not fair.
I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up gay culture. Before Stonewall, there was Mattachine, America's first lasting gay rights group. Before the National LGBTQ Task Force, before the Human Rights Campaign, and even before the Stonewall Uprising, there was the Mattachine Society. Founded in Los Angeles in 1950, the Mattachine Society became the first enduring gay rights organization in U.S. history, lasting into the 1970s. While not the very first, that distinction belongs to Chicago's Society for Human Rights in 1924. Mattachine built a national movement at a time where being openly gay was dangerous. Its founders included labor organizer Harry Hay, along with Bob Hull, Chuck Rowland, Dale Jennings, Conrad Stevens, James Gruber, and fashion designer Rudy Gernreich. Early on, the group operated in secrecy, supporting mostly gay men and educating them on surviving and resisting post-war repression. Mattachine worked inside the legal system, organizing sit-ins at bars, warned members about police entrapment, and published one magazine, the first widely distributed gay publication. Today, Mattachine's legacy lives on through archives, activism, and LGBTQ history itself. You know, I think that we wouldn't be sitting here at this table today if it wasn't for, you know, organizations like this that came before us. You know, I think about, you know, as someone who's had their career in marketing and communications, the culture changes hearts before policies can change sometimes too. So, you know, it's our voices, it's our stories, it's our history that we have to constantly keep telling. And we have to, you know, make sure that we're shouting it from the rooftops, because really we're the only ones that could tell it and really record it well. So
100%. And tell the future.
Yeah.
Tell the future LGBTQ plus folks that don't know about Stonewall, don't know about Mattachine.
Right.
So Chicago, you know, your stomping grounds, right? How does this story make you feel?
Henry Gerber, who was involved in that organization. Yes, it's incredibly important. But also there was that picture of the march.
yeah.
And that was Frank Kameny, who was holding that gay is good sign. And that's, yeah, that is one of the true legends of queer history. There's a really great book called The Deviants War by Eric Cervini, where he talks about Mattachine and he talks about what Frank Kameny did. Yes, know your history, because talk to old people. I'm available to talk.
Yeah, I'm like, we need a
I mean,
documentary.
you really, and I've always thought that
More
there should
plays
be,
written, you know, this is
more.
well, and there should be just a movie about the
That's right.
Mattachine Society, or a mini-series, something like that.
I
I've never
hear-
heard of it.
I heard that in Los Angeles because they were trying to make it a historic, for LGBTQ, but they couldn't do it. But I think the steps, like there's these long steps. Am I right, Greg? That there's a long step that they're actually trying to make it more of a historic LGBTQ site.
Well, and
like
I think
Stonewall.
One Magazine, which
that.
was their publication,
Yeah.
I think that's the One Archives, which is
Right.
in Los Angeles.
Right.
I would think like a Paris is Burning style documentary, clips integrated
'Cause there's
into
plenty
it
of
would
footage.
be-
Like
would
that.
be
Yeah.
the way to go with it. That
Yeah.
would be a great, I'd love
Yeah.
to
It's a
see that,
surprising
yeah.
story. I've never heard of this, and but it just reminds me, you know, this history is especially it's a wonderful thing that we hear, especially locally at the Stonewall National Museum and Archive. I've gone there for many events. I love the things they bring forward. Some things surprise me, things I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
And so this is a great story that I love that we're reporting on, and yeah.
I'm so glad that you mentioned Stonewall.
We're
because
lucky
it's
to
so
have it.
important.
We're so lucky to
We're
have
so
it.
lucky.
Yeah,
And
we
how
are.
many times have any of us gone there to get something out historically,
Right.
right? We haven't. We've been
Right.
there for an event or because
Yep.
Robert told us to go or whatever it is. You know, we've got that in our backyard of all places. We're not the most LGBTQ plus friendly state.
No.
We haven't done
all.
incredible things like they did at the Mattachine in LA or Stonewall. We weren't a part of any of that shit here.
Yeah.
And
You
there
know?
aren't a lot of archives. I mean, there's the Stonewall, there's the Gerber Hart in Chicago. Chicago. There's the one in LA. There are not a lot of these places.
Wow.
So this is a really great place. And that's where Rick did most of his research on his book about gay South Florida.
And I actually did read in the article too, if you're thinking about like if there were any women like in this movement, there were a couple. Yes, and I do know that they had chapters with lesbians too. So, you know, it wasn't just all male dominated back then too.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Well, yeah. It was, but it wasn't.
Well, I mean, but at least we had leaders that were saying, you know what, we need to have representation, and that stems to a lot of what we're going through still today.
And that's what I was going to say. That it's like kind of reliving history all over again. You know what I mean? Queer history didn't start with Stonewall.
No.
Okay? It started with courage in the shadows, you know, groups like the Mattachine organized when survival itself was radical, right? And when nobody was doing it, you know? So knowing that history matters because rights don't appear, they're built, right? And they're defended and sometimes nearly lost, like right now.
Seriously, terrifying.
Wow. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Big, bold, and queer LGBTQ plus films to watch in 2026. Here's a look ahead at major LGBTQ plus films coming this year. Kristen Stewart makes her directorial debut with the chronology of Water, arriving this week, January 9th. Other early releases include The Moment on January 30th and Pelion on February 6th. Spring Brings Forbidden Fruits on April 9th and Stop That Train on May 9th. Movies you should wait for include campy horror, teenage sex and death at Camp Miasma. I mean, I want to watch that. The Housekeeper and the highly anticipated finale of Heartstopper Forever. Well, I mean, if it's LGBTQ, I want to watch it. You know what I mean? I have Heartstopper Forever. You got to watch it. I usually watch it muted, but what does it matter? You know, I'm still watching it, you know?
That took I was like, wait, what? Oh!
I just want to see the scenes. You know, don't get me wrong. But again, you know, visibility means everything. We've got to see ourselves the more, you know, so if anything comes out, even if it's bad, I'm going to try to go see it just because I want to give the support. You know?
Well, I've already seen Pelion.
Okay.
And my favorable, yes, I said favorable review is running in South Florida in a couple weeks. It's everything you might imagine and then some. Alexander Skarsgård and Harry Melling are amazing, and Jake Shears from Scissor Sisters fame even has a speaking part when his mouth isn't full.
Wait.
Oh!
Hold on. A moment of silence for Gregg Shapiro liking something. He liked the all right, now I know that I can like it.
That warmed my heart that he liked it, right?
It's a new year. It's a new leaf.
The Kristen Stewart in a directorial position.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I did not enjoy her as an actress in anything. So
In anything.
I'm excited to see her.
Is she in the vampire in Twilight? I didn't watch that
I slept
shit.
through it.
I'm like the
Yeah,
only
slept
person
through
that did
No,
it.
me either.
Yeah. Boys, anything?
It sounds like there's a little bit for everybody. I'm kind of looking forward to that campy horror flick
Yeah, me
with
too.
the death of the camp.
I love sex in the title? Is that why?
Well, no,
You said miasma. I think.
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch that one.
I don't know. I said it kind of like you need a cream for that. I got my miasma's acting up.
Or an
I need an inhalation.
Yeah.
I need an I'm having a miasma attack. Help me.
Like miasma.
Miasma. You can have it too. I don't know. Well,
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the USA View. ESPN hosts awkward New Year's Eve moment sparks LGBTQ buzz online. An on-air moment from ESPN's New Year's Eve coverage is going viral after host Scott Von Pelt reacted awkwardly to a same-sex kiss during the Times Square ball drop. As confetti fell and couples kissed, Van Pelt joked, quote, "Yeah, live makeouts on Sports Center, get into it," end quote. Moments later, two men appeared kissing on screen. Van Pelt hesitated, saying, "Oh, what are we?" before pivoting to, quote, "What do we got? We got love in the air, end quote. He then shrugged and added, who's having a good time? Happy New Year, everybody. The clip has racked up more than 7.1 million views on Twitter, and reactions are mixed, as they are at this table as well. One user wrote, quote, you can literally see the moment he realizes, oh, this is live. Act normal, end quote. Others argued the issue wasn't the kiss, but the chaos of live TV. And coming at you live from the table and the chaos that ensues here. I just saw visible disgust. Like he just, like it was like
I know.
when friends like Faye tell me to hide my face when someone is obviously doing something awkwardly wrong in front of me. But it also just goes to show like he really probably hates gay people. You know, like that, the face just gave gay hate, in my opinion.
Yeah, that Skeletor-looking motherfucker has no room to criticize anyone or anything. Buy a mirror, you hateful horror show.
And props to the camera person who actually chose to do that to him.
Right. And not move.
To celebrate.
They stayed.
Yeah, well,
celebrate.
I'm sorry. You know,
kiss.
if you're going to be bothered by one simple kiss, that says a lot about you.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter who's kissing who. I mean, he obviously has not seen a lot of kissing.
No.
Right? I mean.
No, listen, I'm always really excited to see white people uncomfortable, right? But you could just, he couldn't stop laughing. He could not stop laughing. You could tell on his face that he was like, shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I couldn't lie.
Busted.
Yeah,
that's true.
I thought he was just like a brown couch.
Like the disgust is just like too apparent. You know what I mean? And why is ESPN having a New Year's Eve thing? Explain that to me. What the hell? Stick to sports. That's why I call you Espen.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Meet Steven, the queer Traitor fans can't stop thirsting over. The Traitors UK is back, and LGBTQ plus viewers can't get enough of Stephen Libby, the 32-year-old queer cybersecurity consultant, originally from Scotland and now based in London, is already a breakout favorite in the show's 4th season. A self-confessed superfan of the franchise, Stephen came in fully prepared and secretly dangerous as one of this season's traitors. Off-screen, fans have flocked to his social media, where his confident style, fitness posts, and glimpses of life with his partner have fueled major thirst online. Smart, strategic, and easy on the eyes, Stephen is quickly becoming a fan obsession. And how dare he be 32 years old? But he's also very attractive, and his boyfriend Daniel isn't too bad either. It's almost enough to get me to watch the Traitors UK. Almost.
Do you have Peacock?
Almost.
No.
Oh, okay, I'll give you my login.
Oh.
Listen, whoever's running his social media while he's on the show, I don't know if that's filmed in real time. I think it's similar to how they do Drag Race when they film like 5 different endings. That's who it could be. But it was funny because I saw this story before I got the teleprompter sent. The people in the comments of this show are so wild. Like, remember from the Traitors, everyone, if you've ever seen the show, they sit at a round table like we are right here. They blindfold them, and the host of the show goes around and picks who the traitors are. The comments are like, oh, he's a traitor from the beginning. Like, we knew it. Like that. No, honey, it was assigned in the first episode. They don't have that preamp before they come on. It's so funny that people get so attached to characters in reality television involved.
Like you would think they're their friend.
You would think, I'm like, wait, this person was assigned a traitor. Did they assign it in the first episode? You know, like, it's not like he's like picked beforehand because he's a badass personality. No, honey, everyone's an equal opportunist traitor. You know,
I love it.
And that's it. And being a traitor isn't always great. Like Bob the drag queen was a traitor and he got sought out.
And
he got in the second or third episode. Tom Daly is also on it, on the celebrity one, excuse me. You know, and
there's way more power in numbers. The house, I'd way rather be a part of the house and split the money at the end than take my chance with 2 other traitors and maybe not get paid at all. I mean, it's a cool game. You should watch.
I'll have to catch up.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the worldview. Did a dance trigger a war? Trump, Maduro, and the politics of petty. There's growing speculation about why Donald Trump ordered a U.S. invasion of Venezuela, seizing President Nicolas Maduro and his wife and bringing them to the United States on drug charges. Trump claims Maduro is a drug kingpin, but critics note Trump previously has pardoned the former president of Honduras, convicted of trafficking 400 tons of cocaine into the U.S. Others point to Venezuela's vast oil reserves as the real motive. However, another theory is gaining traction: hurt feelings. According to the New York Times, the U.S. urged Maduro to accept exile to Turkey. After receiving an ultimatum, Maduro instead danced on stage with supporters, chanting, "No crazy war." The White House reportedly saw the dance as taunting and disrespectful, but at least it wasn't the Macarena. 3 days later, the U.S. invaded. The timing also raised eyebrows. The invasion coincided with a deadline for the Justice Department to explain redactions in the Epstein files. Quite an interesting story. It is amazing to me. I've always said that the United States is a police state type country where we go and police the rest of the world. I personally don't agree with that. And it just amazes me that our president has the cojones to go into another country, not only to attack ships, seize ships, and literally arrest somebody from another country, much less kill, like you said, you're going to say kill people. But it just blows my mind. I just can't wrap my head around it. Does it surprise me? No, but it is a surprise.
I don't know a lot about the history of what was before this has been like headed into our spotlight in our world, but I do have friends who are Venezuelan, a good amount of them who are celebrating this, and it's a joy to them. So at one hand, I'm like, I want my friends who I've known forever to be happy, of course, because if it's
dictatorship
relieving
or
them, yes. But also at the same time, I'm like, we have so many corrupt politicians right here, right now. That why are we not focusing maybe our attention on that?
There's no way to talk about this in a 1 minute news.
No,
there's no way, right? Something that I'm Colombian, which is right next door to Venezuela, and I have lots of family members who are in such fear right now that they are.
You heard what Trump said?
What I mean? Yes, of course. Of course. My wife is Cuban. That's another country that they're going after, right? The reality is that both things can be true. Right? We can be happy for our Venezuelan brothers and sisters, right? And we could be scared for what this means, right? He wants the oil. That's the, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like you said, Kevin, the story could also be that he saw Maduro's dance and he was like, I'm gonna get that motherfucker, right?
I know, right?
Because that's what happens when you have a small peepee.
Right. You don't
do
things
like
taunt
that,
the bully.
right?
You don't taunt the bully.
You don't.
He wants, he wants his MAGA cult to think that.
Yeah.
They'll believe
you just said that.
But the MAGA cult
or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what they want to hear.
But the MAGA cult now is really upset
the ones
by
that are
this
still
too.
with him.
And you know who's leading the charge there? Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is really upset with the fact because obviously he's being called a hypocrite for all of this. So it's insane.
Yeah.
What a world.
Didn't he even say that in his election campaign that he wouldn't do something like this, that he didn't want to, because now he's saying
he wouldn't do foreign leaders. He wouldn't be,
now he's going to, he wants to rule another country.
Everybody.
Yeah, of course.
He said, we'll be monitoring Venezuela, or whatever he said, monitoring watching them and everything.
Yeah. So like you said, Eric, we're happy for our Venezuelan people that have been under this regime for over 25 years, right? They are out from under a dictator.
Yes.
We are, we have Trump as our president. We know what that feels like somewhat. Theirs is way different. No food, no place to work, no way to make money, no way, there's a lot of shit that Venezuelans have had to endure in the last 2 decades plus. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That being said, it's not like the vice president is any better, right? Like so there's a lot to uncover with this, and and wherever LGBTQ fits into all this, we will be relaying those stories back to you folks here at Queer News Tonight.
Absolutely. God bless Venezuela and our LGBTQ friends and family in Venezuela as well.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Queer Reads to Watch. 2026 most anticipated LGBTQ plus books. Looking ahead to 2026, LGBTQ plus readers have plenty to celebrate. A wave of bold, genre-spanning books is already building buzz, from intimate realism to speculative thrills. Jennifer Niven's Meet the Newsmans, and India Rose Bowers' We Called Them Witches lead a lineup that also includes Genderqueer Menopause by LaSarah Firefox Allen and Our Monstrous Bodies by Emma Cleary. These titles promise stories that reflect, challenge, and delight our community. Well, I'm all about for reading. I think we were just talking about, doing some reading in 2026, Eric. I think these will definitely be books.
Club in 2026, a gay horror book club. So it's less TV, more reading for me in 2026.
Yeah, and Greg, you've got some books there.
Well, yes, I personally am looking forward to reading gay poet Mickey Kennedy's Worth Burning, which is out in February.
Awesome.
And queer writer Alicia Jo Rabin's memoir, When We're Born, We Forget Everything, which is out in March.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
So these are two that are...
That's how you know you're fancy. They send them to Greg before everyone.
I love that.
It's my job.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I got my penis book holder. What is it? My bookmarker?
Your
ready.
bookmark.
Okay.
What?
No, you just say things that I should expect it at this point.
I never had a penis bookmark, so I'm actually going to look for one.
Am I the only one? Is the lesbian at the table the only one with a penis bookmarker?
Yes.
Well,
I know what I'm getting all of you this year.
I know people have had real penis bookmarks in their books, but that's another story.
Oh my God.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these type of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight. Eric Restivo, Gregg Shapiro, Kevin Lee, and Edward Otto Zielke. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We wish you a good night.